Hi. I used to tell my kids as they were growing up that they can be anyone they want to be. I've told lots of people they can be anyone they want to be. And I've just realised that identity theft is actually a crime. So. I'm still on my boycott of McDonald's, I want you to know. And I actually had somebody, one of our viewers, contact me during the week. Oh, before we go, I'm Stephen Englander. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm here again. It's Thursday evening. But yeah, McDonald's, the car parking fiasco where I got a £50 ticket, so I'm boycotting them for a while, probably forever. But this viewer who wanted to remain anonymous for fear of repercussions, but he was telling me, and I should have known this, that the ticket is actually contractual. It's not enforceable by the council or the government, so I didn't actually have to pay it. And it's a big bit. I don't know if it's a scam, but it's a bit of a thing that a lot of these big firms, again, it's always the big firms, Tesco's, Asda, McDonald's, all of them, they're putting those little signs in the car park, and you don't really see them or you don't think about it, and you go shopping, you do what you do, and you get tickets, and it's really not a nice way to act. But it is contractual, which means that in order for them to force you to pay it, they've got to take you to court, and a judge has got to agree that this is it's right and just that you do pay it. But getting to court is going to cost them. And it's all blag, and the chances are is that they'll lose the case, and I'll tell you why in a minute. In the meantime, I do have a source of this information coming up, so if you do want to read more on it, it's there. But it's a principle with me, and it's something lots of companies do try and cheat you on. So I thought I'd just mention it. But while I was talking about contracts, I just thought I'd mention a bit about contract law. You see, the thing is with contract law is that it's a civil matter. So unlike a criminal law, which is anything the government says you must do and you don't do, they can't bring the police in, they can't do anything. All they can do is sue you. And then they might not be able to sue you. I mean, I remember when I was studying, I did law, and most accountants study at least one module of law. And the essence of a contract is that you have a deal. I say I'll do this, you say you'll do that, and we write it all down. Sometimes it's not written down, but it's implied, and we know what we're doing. But in this case, there was an example of a deck chair company many, many years ago that had their, like a fine if you left the deck chair on the beach. But the fine was on the deck chair, and you only saw it once you'd opened the deck chair. So that was a condition that you couldn't have known about before you entered into the agreement. So therefore, it wasn't a fair contract. It didn't count. And this is it with these contracts. They're arguing that the signs up are contractual. So you see the sign and you park. One of the arguments is that you don't see the sign until you're in the car park. So, that's a bit iffy whether they can enforce it. The other thing as well is what's reasonable. So why are these firms putting these signs up? They're putting them up so to stop unreasonable behaviour. So if I go into McDonald's and I'm there for 6 hours because I use their parking facility to go to work, then that's not very fair. But if I'm there 10 minutes longer than I needed to be, then is that really fair? And a judge might decide that it isn't. And that's another thing. And then you've got to look at the 1.5 hour condition. Is it reasonable to go into a restaurant for 1.5 hours, especially if you've got kids and you sat there for a bit? And I don't know. I would imagine if you go out for a meal or something, 2 hours or yes.
Could I just weigh in on this a little bit?
Okay.
I have experience in this area.
Okay.
First thing to do, I mean, obviously I'm not advising anybody because you daren't give advice on these things.
No, I'm advising.
So what I'm not advising you to do is certainly never phone them.
Yeah.
Never phone the parking company.
Nope. Just ignore them.
Secondly, well, you don't even have to do that. You can ignore it for a while so they get good and excited. Then you can go online and there are several boilerplate appeal forms that you can get. Mm-hmm. Fill those in. They run about 4 or 5 pages. It'll take you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you send that to the parking company as close to the court date as you can comfortably manage.
Yeah, just to annoy them.
And what they do is not turn up at court.
Yeah.
Now, here's the finest part. About a month later, they will phone you.
Yeah.
And say we want the money. Just tell them you've had your chance, because they will not fail to turn up at court and then go back to a court because then the judge will start asking them a lot of
Don't
questions.
do what I did and just pay it.
Oh, never.
Let them just chase and chase and chase, and then see what happens. And if you do have any of these stories, I'd love to hear about it. So just email me. Graham, did you want something as well?
I've got to say, the links on screen that you were talking about to help people out with this, it's the first link in the description as well. So just go down, click it.
No, and I've got a beer in my bonnet. It's not just about the 50 quid parking fine. It's how,
quite a saga for you.
Yeah, I know, but it's how a lot of these big firms do cheat you. It's that extra profit they're making all the time.
And just remember, if you do go to a collection agency and send bailiffs that aren't court bailiffs, you're allowed to say whatever you want to those people.
And I have done.
Never let them in, treat them like dirt.
Well,
it's absolutely
treat them
fine.
for what they are, because they are scum.
Exactly.
If there's any bailiffs watching this programme, please turn off, because I'd hate to think that you're going to gain clampers, traffic wardens, bailiffs. Go fuck yourself. Don't watch this show. And you see, we've got a member of the audience that mentioned to me before that I'm so much nicer off screen than I am screen. I am on screen, and I'm saying he does not know me. But anyway, so contract law, it's an argument, a dispute whether you owe it or not. If it comes from the council or the government, you've got to pay it, and that's true everywhere. Contracts need to reflect the business that you're doing with someone, and they have to be entered into without any duress or trickery, and everybody must know what they're getting into. Sorry, Graham.
I've got a few comments as well. Duke Bratsy, who last week said that you're not Hayden, has now said that you're not Ron.
I'm not Ron.
You're not Ron.
What's Ron?
Maybe Ron Burgundy.
It's just whoever
Sorry,
it is.
please.
Whoever it is, you're not.
Okay, that's okay. I'll take that one. Thank you.
He's constantly frustrated about who you are.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll just for you, I'll put up Stephen England there.
There I am.
No, wait,
Have you got the Mankini picture?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
I can send it in. We've got a few more comments as well before you rush off.
Great.
Biscuit Vapes isn't happy. He's noticed that we've got a third screen now.
Yes.
All this work I've done, and he doesn't care. He's just moaning because they're not all in shot. It's artistic, mate. What are you on about?
It is artistic.
Yeah. Total Utter Nutter is back, and he said,
some great names, haven't we?
well, it's the internet, isn't it?
Okay.
He said, do I have to pay my water bill if I return all the water within 14 days?
No. And you should get a refund because you've recycled it. So it's better quality when you finish with it. Water rates is actually a thing. There's a big bone of contention for a lot of small firms, because I've actually seen clients and people where they've not even got water on the premises, and they've got an outside loo, which isn't working, and they've still got to pay water rates.
The water companies charge you for taking rainwater away from your property.
I didn't know that.
Not just your wastewater.
Yeah.
Rainwater.
Yeah, but you're just going for businesses. A lot of small businesses out there that don't have facilities for water, but they're still paying water rates. I don't know. I'm so greedy, the councils, and all these people.
Don't get me started on the council. Don't get me started.
We've got running water.
It's not the council anymore.
What is it? They're private now, aren't they? Yeah.
United Utilities.
They'll get absorbed again.
We're gonna nationalise them again.
We're gonna nationalise.
Come on.
They'll get
Graham
there
likes
again.
that.
They'll get there again.
Graham likes nationalised industry.
You don't, do you, Graham?
No, and don't be telling me that the water companies are private either. What a nonsense.
Of course it is. How can you nationalise something? I mean, how can you denationalise something like that all over the country? It's a monopoly.
Yeah, it's a monopoly, and a monopoly can only exist with government intervention. Only. That's the only way.
Only.
Yes, only.
A monopoly couldn't happen without the government intervention.
It could.
I will tell Waddingtons. Waddingtons are going to get a call from me to let them know.
The same kind of rip-off as electricity. You buy electricity, you can get a different company. They all come down the same
It does, because they're using the same water pipes to send the electric down. We've been. I don't know about people watching the show, but I find that there's always new things to learn. You notice that, Graham? There's new things to learn. There's new taxes coming out. There's new ways of doing business. There's new ways of marketing.
You keep saying different letters and numbers and expecting me to know what you were talking about. What was that thing today? Was it SA 101 or something?
No. It was about somebody that contacted me that I've not spoke to in nearly 20 years, and he contacted me out of the blue because he wanted me to sign off an accountant certificate to show that his accounts were showing the sort of profit margin so we could get a mortgage. And I don't know what people think of me, and I'm not going to do that. And then he's not a client, by the way, but then I mentioned to him that the building societies aren't interested in what accountants say anymore. It can influence a little bit, but what they're more interested in the certificate that comes with their proof of tax paid and how that tax was broken down. So if you're a good boy, good girl, and you declare all your income, then HMRC will be happy, but building societies will be happy too, because they don't trust accountants. Don't know why, but that's the way it is. I think if it's more complex affairs, then they come to accountants. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Oh, good. Fuck you, honestly. So what I was saying.
Excuse me. What was that?
I don't know. It's just something I muttered under my breath. So there's always new stuff coming out, and there are so many firms out there and institutions offering training courses online. Some are free, some are not free. All sorts of things, and it can be on software, it can be on cryptocurrency, it can be on new management styles. It could be on all sorts, and they are really good, and we should join them. We should go and watch them. But even me, who's reasonably studious, gets fed up of them, and they can be very tedious and very boring. And who's got the time to spend every week 3 hours and then do the homework and send it in? So what I'm saying is not don't do them, because some are very good, even the free ones. I'm saying that come to one of my workshops. So we start about 3 o'clock on a Thursday. Come along, it's only for a couple of hours. We have a bit of a laugh, and you can just ask questions, and we can see where the conversation goes. But I guarantee you'll walk out knowing a bit more about how to get the best deal with taxes and VAT and business management ideas and even business ideas. I guarantee that. And if you don't, I'll give you your money back, which is okay because I'm not charging you for it. So that's my take on do come and join me on. But if you don't come and join me, and you do fancy you're doing some online courses, I can point you into some very good ones. You've never done a course online, have you, Graham?
No, I like to learn on the job usually. Yeah. If I don't know how to do something, I'll find someone that does know how to do it and ask them.
I think that's how a lot of people learn. But sometimes you could do with something that you're not learning just because you're doing it. Sometimes new information gives new ideas.
I you know what I associate online courses with?
Go on.
Being part of a big organisation. Yeah. And then like once a year you've got to do your anti-terror
Well, there is that as well. I have to do ongoing study to keep up with the various different changes in legislation and tax. We all do, but it's just part of being a professional. Yeah,
it's a bit frustrating with all the accountants upstairs when I'm out having a cig and they're talking about they have to do tests and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm lost at this point. I'm like,
yeah, but it's just, you choose a career. That's what you've got to do.
I had to get up at 8 today. That's my big complaint.
Yes.
Not sort a couple of days a week out for Graham upstairs so he can learn.
No, we've got standards upstairs. No, down.
What are you on about? As soon as I lose favour with you, I'm straight upstairs on my knees, literally on my knees, begging Kirsty for
you were sniffing. I got told off because of you before. No, because Graham, Melanie said, have you given Graham his money?
Yeah.
And I said, not yet. And as soon as he heard the word money, he was sniffing at my crotch, sniffing at my pockets.
You know what? This weird lie / joke that you've been telling all day to everyone that's walked through the door hasn't landed once.
Well,
why would it land now?
Because it's true. But then, but I told you, didn't I? I met someone in Bury the other day that knew you.
What?
No, he knew you. He asked me where I work, and I said Cheetham Hill. And it's not that he knew you. It's just said, oh, Cheetham Hill, I knew this Pratt there once. I just assumed. Oh, I'm sorry, Graham. You are my favourite person in this place, except for Hayden and the audience. And my dad comes in sometimes.
Your dad comes in, yeah.
But talking about learning things, I mean, we can learn a lot from John Lewis. I think it's great with John Lewis. Well, I don't actually, but they've been under, this remarkable company that is like a religious organisation, the religious background, and they've been, all like the good boys of the retail world. All the staff are partners, and but they've been underpaying staff, underpaying them, not even paying minimum wage, so they got all sorts of trouble. And why are you laughing?
I'm just doing your next title for this.
Graham's just found a very novel way of finding a new job.
Well, no, because it's the story.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but anyway. So some business minister Paul Scully said our minimum wage laws are there to ensure a fair day's work gets a fair day's pay. It's unacceptable for any company to come up short. All employers, including those on this list, need to pay workers properly. So first of all, let me address this list, because it's a it's a name and shame of 191 companies that are not paying their share, and I think that's 191 potential clients for Accounts Direct. So if you need some help, we'll make sure that you're not doing things wrong. Unless you're doing it on purpose, and then we'll tell you you're doing it and don't do it. But that's the way it is. But sometimes you ask the question: is this a moral problem or is it a legal problem? Why is the government making the responsibility of companies to pay a minimum wage? Why not just make it that people are better trained and enjoy the job better, and there's more freedom of movement? Because my take is, if you go and work for a company, you shouldn't care what you're earning, because the environment of that company should be enough so that you can earn what you need to do. I think that's your view as well, isn't it, Hayden?
Depends.
Okay, we're out
Only
of that
because
one.
if we're talking about factory workers, shop floor.
You mean robots?
Or students that only want a low-paying job to get them through
students are not ready to be people yet,
I think
so
once
they shouldn't
step
count.
up to, if you're working in offices and things of that nature, it should be about opportunities.
But even if they're on the shop floor, they should have the chance to educate, train, move forward. So really, it's the school's fault. So I think that John Lewis...
There used to be pathways for that, though, didn't
they? Did, but they're just not.
That's what we need back.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't teach bookkeeping in schools, about a little bit about money, all sorts of life skills. So John Lewis...
Because they've got to teach about important things like gender.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And things like that.
Well, all I was going to say was that John Lewis, based on what I've just said, actually have a claim to sue schools. That's my take on this. It's not John Lewis's fault. It's not these sweatshop people in Leicester. It's the schools. Because if people were taught to respect themselves and have more knowledge of the workplace, then we'd have better people out there working. Yeah, no. Okay.
I'm fully behind minimum wage ruining training. Whereas you could have hired someone 15, 16 for £2 an hour on the understanding that they're going to learn a hell of a lot.
Have you ever employed a lot of school leavers or younger people?
Well, they're useless.
Oh God! You pay them not to come in.
Well, you know what? The weird thing is, though, when I've paid them nothing at all, they've been amazing.
But it's not true what I just said. There's some very, very good. I mean, we've got a young gentleman upstairs as a trainee. He's a lovely boy, very hardworking, and does a good job.
It's bad enough that I get it off used to all day. Biscuit Vapes is in the chat slacking off my bike now.
Your bike?
Yes, saying it's not worth anything. No one will want to steal it. I mean, it's true. It's never been robbed because it is terrible.
It is So there you go. We're talking about quality.
Bicycle measuring competition here.
Quality sells. So even, do you remember last week or was it the week before, I was talking about inflation, and I didn't think that inflation would be an issue in raising prices, and yet prices on a lot of things are going up.
Have we come round to my way of thinking now then?
No, it's not inflationary. It's not really even Brexit. It's just COVID and lots of other things. Where I remember years ago, I used to import goods from China, and I remember the cost of a container was negligible on the cost of bringing the goods in. And I was talking to a client of mine a few weeks ago who deals in shoes. He's actually on one of my interviews, and he's been in shoes for years and years and years. And even then, he was telling me, this was before we had Freedom Day, that the cost of containers were making it that it wasn't really worth bringing stock in. But now, I was talking to someone the other day, and to give you an idea, the average cost of a container, a 40-foot container, was around £1,500. Possibly you could do deals and get them cheaper, but now you're talking over £10,000 for the same container. So this is part of the reason we're getting shortage of goods and increase in cost. There's other things like COVID. Certain ports are closed, and people keep going back to work. There's a shortage of labour because of that as well, and there's just general chaos at the ports. There's not enough containers. There's not enough ships. But by the way, do you know, if you go and look online, you can find companies that are offering investments into containers, and they give quite a good return, 20-25% return on them. So if you fancy that, just go and look them up. There's a big one in China It's been going for years. So now would be, if you're going to invest in containers, now would probably be a better time than any other time. However, it will pass because COVID will lift, ports will open again, more containers will be made available, and if people don't go back to work, there'll be better quality robots that load and unload the containers themselves. So, but it's not so much political; it's just badly organised trade. And I think this will stop and things will go back to normal. In the meantime, it does look like if you do manufacture or supply some goods, then now is a good time to really get going, because obviously if the problem is shipping, then if you make goods in the UK, then you haven't got the same shipping. And if you can use materials that are more local, then even better. And there's always things that are more local. There's always things you can do. So, good for manufacturers, providing they're not buying the materials from abroad, and not so great for people importing, but it will change.
Are we going to crush China first,
No,
and then start rebuilding the empire?
You know what? It's theoretically possible. Have all the TVs gone off?
Yeah, I don't know why.
They didn't like what you said. You put China, be careful.
It was a warning, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot of people that have got used to furlough, so they don't want to work anymore. You've got other people that are up training, so they're selling. They're doing more interesting jobs. You've got EU nationals leaving, although I think that'll come back. I think that's more to do with COVID than I think it's to do with anything else. You've got an increase in people becoming self-employed, which is always a good thing. That's why I'm here. And a lot of people have got used to working from home. So, it's good working from home because you can work anywhere. I mean, if I was younger and I could have worked from home, I'd have been living near the seaside. But still, that's that. You wanted to mention the Ever Given has finally arrived.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to jump in with it, but because you were talking about shipping costs and all the rest of it, and the Ever Given, for people that don't remember, is the one that blocked the Suez Canal, and it's just arrived in Felixstowe.
I believe it's happening again. I think they've had some other problems with another ship, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
I think so. Was that something else? Oh, right. I knew I saw something, Suez Canal.
You're always like that with Middle East issues, aren't you?
You know what?
Bit of fuss down there.
Do you know other areas of interest? We've got a situation where you've got if you're producing a product or selling it, you can always sell that product in different ways. It's like what's that chemical, hydrogen peroxide, as an example, I think. But that like bleaches hair, but it also, you can use it as a detergent, or you can even use it as a quick gargle mouthwash, and it's got lots of different uses. So you can use that product. If you're making it in one thing, then why not use it and make another product as well? So while you're making the first product, you can make the second product, third product, fourth product. And it's the same with lots of things. Like I was reading about fridges for skincare. And
what?
Yeah, some skincare, like creams and stuff like that.
I do keep my creams in the fridge, actually.
Well, there you go. So special.
I do.
This firm.
That's butter.
Well, this firm are marketing fridges, little fridges for skincare products. Seriously. But this is what I think people should be doing. I think they should be looking around and saying, what do I sell and how can I repackage it? I mean, look at the car business. You've got the same basic chassis, the same basic car, and you can turn it into an SUV, a saloon car, a sports car, a soft top, same basic platform. And this is like clothes. You manufacture T-shirts, but the T-shirts for men could be 90s for women or kids. So you've got all sorts of different ways of rebranding your products. I used to do stuff like that years ago. Just used to, if something didn't sell, maybe put it in a different type of box. Or I remember once actually, I used to phone round firms to see if they had any clearance stock, anything that wasn't selling. And this one firm used to manufacture rubber gloves as surgical gloves. So I said, have you got any clearance? And they said, well, they've made these gloves that they made them too thick, so they just want to clear them out. So I bought them and I sold them as washing up gloves. just put them in little packets and sold them. And they were cheaper than Marigold at the time because it was clearance stock. And this company decided, hey, you know what? We can make them a bit thicker and knock them out as washing up gloves. I thought it was good.
Oh, I'm so glad. I thought you were going to a kinky place then.
I don't understand what.
So when you started doing that and stuff, I was like, oh God, no.
Oh, it's what you're on about before, isn't it? Because
what?
Oh, I don't want to say.
Please don't talk about that on camera again.
I'm not. However, there is something that in Sweden or somewhere they've now produced an app that gives consensual sex. So before you go and have it, you sort of click on the app saying, yeah, it's okay, and that's a good idea.
I don't want to sound.
No, I knew you'd object to that.
No, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it take the heat out of the moment?
You've never been out with a Jewish girl, have you?
I have.
Do you know what Jewish foreplay is?
What?
4 hours of begging.
That's what happened.
Yeah, well, this is
what
where
happened.
Yeah. But I did talk. I mean, I know you like your hot tubs. I was in a hot tub the other day.
Yeah,
jacuzzi.
Yeah.
No.
I'm so glad you didn't phone me from it.
They won't let you take your phones in, but it's a gym. I go to this gym. It's got a swimming pool, and it's got.
I love that you tried as well. You're like, no phones.
Yeah. Anyway, I phoned you from a bath. I have done that, but I was in the hot tub in the health club, and this guy came in. You could see he's in business. You can smell it on them, and so I got chatting to him because it's quite normal to chat up a middle-aged man in a public jacuzzi. But you know what? He's coming on my show, and we'll have a look at his accounts as well. So always be networking. There you go. No, we've still got a bit of time, but I'll cut out the crap that you've given me to say and go straight back to that one to say. We were talking about super profits the other day, weren't we, Graham? I don't actually have conversations with Graham. I just tell him.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? So you've just skipped?
Yeah.
All the stuff.
I might go back to it.
Slag me off, and then you're like, "Hey, Graham, can you back me up on this bit?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. What do you want to talk about?
No, I was just saying that.
I still don't fully understand what you're on about.
Well, yeah, I know. This is what I was saying. That we do have conversations about stuff, but they're not really conversations. It's just me telling you things. So you've got super profits. Sometimes in an industry. What bit were you enjoying?
Just Graham looking uncomfortable on camera. So take the camera.
Sorry, you'll be able to go to the loo in a minute. No, super profits. You get that when often you're first to the market. So you've got a new product. It's you get a lot more money for the product than the time taken and the production costs because it's new and people are excited and they're buying it. And it's always good to watch trends to see which way people are going. And even if it's gimmicky, it's you can make profits. But then as time goes by, more and more people jump into the marketplace. It becomes a regular product and the prices go right down. So it's not always the best to buy the first things to the marketplace, but it's quite good if you are supplying to the marketplace first of all. So do keep an eye out for ideas of what might be a good thing to look at, and it's what I've always tried to do. I've never really been very good at that, so I just stick to good, strong marketing ploys. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Can you put this in words that I understand, please?
Okay, just ask me questions.
Super profit.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a profit and a super profit?
Right, a profit is something you expect by trading in goods and services as a normal part of your business.
Right.
So, for instance, we've got a bottle of water here. It's so everywhere that all you'll achieve is normal profits from that business.
Yeah, so I might make 10p every time I sell one.
Yeah, and you can't really get much more because the guy down the road is probably selling it for the same price. It's the same type of thing. But sometimes they might come up with a new type of water, that maybe makes your hair darker, and you're the only one that's got it. So you don't make 10 pence on the bottle, you make £5, £10 on the product. But what happens then is that other people get that product, sell it, and so of course everyone's doing it, so the price starts coming down.
So this is
super.
I go in the middle of the forest and suddenly I'm making £1 every bottle I sell because I'm the only guy there with water.
Well, that's it. It's about not just about you're the only one there, but it's something new that people are excited about and they want to come and buy it. And it's But after a while, people begin to say it just becomes a normal product that they're getting in everyday life, so they're not as excited, so they start looking for the cheaper places. This is why branding is so important, because when you brand something, what you're effectively doing is you're saying, okay, you can have a bottle of water, but if you want this brand of water, you can only buy it from us at these prices. So branding is a way of keeping profits high and exclusive, and that's the purpose of branding, to control the markets.
All right, cool.
Does that make sense?
It's better.
It's better, but you're still not clear, are you?
I'll get there.
Okay. You've given here. Okay.
Well, we're out of time now. So
what about the quote of the day?
We'll do the quote of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't like it that you've quoted Donald Trump.
I think it's
you're really
fantastic.
scraping the barrel.
The greatest president that's ever lived.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that your phone?
It's to remind me to take a tablet.
Why would you set a reminder whilst you're on
Well, I forgot. I normally have it on silent. I just don't know whether... I'll just turn my phone off. Right. Right. Sorry about that, guys.
I might have to edit this out. Actually,
No, you can't. It's live.
Right?
How can you? Okay.
I can do that, but not afterwards.
What's the quote?
Okay.
As long as you're going to be thinking anyway, think big.
Yeah.
You predict that you're going to be thinking.
I just think it's great. I think it's great because it sounds amazing, but it's not actually that deep.
It's not Donald Trump, though, that said it.
No, was it one of his ghostwriters?
I don't know, but there is actually a book out there called Think Big, and it talks all about that. And it's been out for about 20 years.
So it's the art of the deal.
Well, it's been out for 30 years. Yeah, but yeah, okay. No, yeah, you know, if you're gonna do something, do it. There's a Latin quote, isn't it? Is it "Dum vivamus vivamus," something like that? And it means if you're alive, then live.
I was going to say, dude.
Oh yeah, Latin.
don't know.
So, they want to teach that in schools now, don't they?
Oh, that'll help.
So it's not privileged kids that learn Latin.
So every kid will now learn a dead language.
It's a good language.
It's a stupid language. Where can you use it?
Well, it's
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
you use
Where?
it it's
Hidden knowledge.
the scientific names for things and stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
it's everything. It makes everything comes from Latin.
But that's not what the kids will learn.
Well, they
They'll
should.
learn about the proper conjunction of a few terms, and they'll fall out their head.
Yeah.
And all you get is absolute people like Boris Johnson that's
Yeah. But
tap it out.
it should be an option though, like French and German and everything.
No,
Just
you
give them
shouldn't be
the
allowed to
option.
use a live language.
I've always maintained that it's treasonous for an Englishman to learn a foreign
Well,
language
why don't
anyway.
we teach them? Well, Englishmen just need to shout louder. Why don't we teach kids
Yes.
Aramaic then? That'll be handy. Come on, Greg, tell me.
no,
Can I just say, I learned Hebrew, if that's any...
That's a modern language.
Hebrew?
Yes.
Not Ivrit, Hebrew.
No, yeah, Hebrew is a modern language. They used to speak Aramaic back in the biblical
Yeah, they
times.
did.
And what language did they speak in Rome?
I don't know.
Greek,
Yeah,
not Latin.
no.
Do you know why they didn't speak Latin?
Yep.
They knew it was bullshit.
I think we're going somewhere else now. But
Sorry,
if you do want more of this anarchistic nonsense and conspiracies and general sweary stuff, Hayden will be on at 10 o'clock, and so you can just tune in that. I'll be watching it. It's fun. It's not as boring as my show, but it's actually totally non-informative, and you'll come away knowing less than when you started watching it, whereas with me I increase intelligence. Thank you very much for watching me again. Hopefully you'll start coming to our live audience and join me in one of my workshops. If you have any problems or any questions that you feel are business related, do contact me direct. Take care. See you next week. Bye bye.